Symmetrical on the map here. Let's bring up the pip. Off we go. Alright, taking some initial looks here. SRM-6 Artemis on the Stormcrow. Spirit Bear running Ultra AC-10, 6 SRM-6 Artemis for both of them. So they're doing kind of the Atlas-y build with an Ultra AC-10. You know what? Personally, I enjoy the LBX-20 clan on the Spirit Bear. I thought it worked very well, but I am seeing some teams bring in the Ultra AC-10s instead. Yeah. Still a very deadly choice, though. Ultra AC-10s for clans are very powerful ballistic. SRM-6 Small Pulse Timbers. So we got a very, very brawly setup here for Blood Pearls. What do you got over on the Sword League side?
It's definitely more of a pokey deck. We actually have 2 Kodiak 3s running dual AC-10, dual Gauss rifle. A different build than what we usually see. That fire starter is medium, I believe medium lasers. Yes, 6 medium lasers on the fire starter A, so a little more range. Wolfhound with medium lasers. A dual PPC Hunchback. This is definitely more of a poke deck running by the Sword League. So let's see how they play it.
I think that we're going to get a lot of shit in chat really soon here. Sword League has a lot of names that I've seen around. FBJ, Twitch streamer. These are this is a Mercstar team. Deathly Eyes, Pepsi One. We know these players, and I can't believe I didn't catch that before. So anything that I said about Sword League maybe being a new team, throw that right out the frickin' window, because these guys know what they're doing.
Yeah, I can't wait for them to listen to that.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, "What are you talking about? It's freaking FBJ. It's Mercstar." So we are, of course, getting into it here. Blood Pearls up at Theta, just below Theta, actually. Operating in the valley. Took some damage on that Jenner 2C, but they're kind of held up, not wanting to poke their heads out against that poke deck there. Ooh, the chump in the fire starter with, was that medium lasers?
Yeah, that's medium lasers on that fire starter.
6 medium lasers, so very pokey medium laser fire starter. So he's actually going to be able to work these angles.
And he's going down at the canyon here. Let's see
if he can. This is a very good move by DeChump here. He's just going to get info, but those medium lasers can still do damage at this range. Just doing little harassment against these guys. This is not a very good place for Blood Pearls to be, and I'm a little bit worried for them that they're going to get just run up on.
A little too stagnant right now,
All Sword League needs to do is get a firing angle down this canyon, and it's going to be over really quick. They got nowhere else to go.
And that was a great move by DeChump, was watching those light mechs come up towards Theta, saw a clear back shot with them, but didn't take the shot because he didn't want to give away where he was. Waited until someone else shot him, and then shot at the light mech so that it didn't give the damage indicator away. Great job. He did, however, get some information, but they noticed him coming up on Theta, so they do know where he is, but I don't think they're going to be able to do much about it now that they're pushing up on Theta.
So Arctic Cheetah just chased DeChump out, and he is on the way out. But Bushy here in the Arctic Cheetah, not able to get any significant damage. Just basically got him out of the way so they can't keep harassing the backs of Blood Pearls. Blood Pearls has moved up the ramp, and they are operating near Theta. They are actually in brawl range right now. They need to go.
They gotta go.
They cannot just
get over this hill here.
They have brawl mechs. It is time to make the call. Blood Pearls, you need to charge. Against this ranged team, you're just hemorrhaging
Jenner
damage.
2C just went down in the backfield.
It's time to go. And here we go.
It is time to go.
Here we
Absolutely.
go. They took way too long on that, but here we go. We got to get these SRMs involved in the fight, and let's see whether or not this brawly deck can do anything. Timber A right off in front there, getting focused down. Very, very good. He's way ahead of his team, though. They went around the right side, and he kind of came right up at the top. Heavy overheat on Pepsi One in the Hellbringer. He took a beating because
and down he goes.
So the Sword League is definitely up on health right now and kills, but Blood Pearl is now in the range that they want to be in. Let's see if they can get some of this damage on field. They seem very spread out, though. FBJ goes down hard in the Kodiak 3. That's a big win for Blood Pearls, and they can bring this back.
Blood Pearls need to reorganize here. They got to get grouped up.
If they can kill this Kodiak here, that's going to be a big win for them, but they can't lose any more mechs in the process. Unfortunately for them, though, they are losing a bunch, and it looks like this is going to go in favor of Sword League. They did eventually get up into the range they wanted to, but they were so strung out that Sword League had no problem just focusing them down one at a time. That charge around the right side of Theta, it was delayed, it was staggered, and that's really what cost Blood Pearls.
Yeah, a very disjointed push there, unfortunately, for Blood Pearls.
That's one of those things where you can definitely come back to the footage, look at it, and see how far apart your mechs really were. That Timberwolf leading the charge, but he had no backup from the rest of the mechs for quite some time. The fact that he lived as long as he did is amazing, because he was just so far in front, and they weren't able to help him out at all. Ultimately, getting killed up on the charge, but lots of bodies just laying in this pit down here. If Blood Pearls had moved a little bit sooner, as soon as they realized how close Sword League was and didn't just sit there and hemorrhage damage, and if they moved as a true murder ball and just got in there and did some amazing focus, I think they might have had a chance with this deck.
I think they absolutely had a chance at that range. They just were a little too disjointed in that push.
Has Haman 0 damage in the Gen 2C. That is hurt. That hurts. And then Ski Baller, 61 damage in the Spirit Bear, getting killed on the charge. Just needs to get up there and get some of that damage downfield. But the Storm Crows doing decent work. The other Spirit Bear going up there doing some decent work. The Timber pulling his weight. Cheetah only 35 as well. It's just that's rough, and a lot of that has to do with just waiting too long. As soon as you noticed that they were right there on the other side of Theta, it's time to go, and it's time to go now. And so you could probably hear me agonizing as a drop caller over the hesitation. Go now! You've got the tools, you've got the positioning, you need to go. Yep. And it's a map timing thing, and it's probably partially a scouting thing. Maybe they didn't know they were all right there or something, but it was time to go. They needed to go, and they eventually went, and we saw how quickly they were able to deal out some of that damage once they got mobilized. But the time it took to do it, it just cost them too much.
To do it, and they got spread out doing it. They lost their focus after that initial push. That Timberwolf was too far ahead. You know, a lot of people say a brawl is just kind of this mindless thing. You know, you just charge forward and shoot everything, and it's great. It's not really true, right? You've got to stick together. You've got to get good firing angles. You can't block your teammates from shooting at whoever the focus target is, and you've got to get on those focus targets. That's why when we see a brawl at top level play, you see mechs dropping one after another, just boom, 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 because that focus, that concentration, that grouping up is perfect. Unfortunately for Blood Pearls, they got into the position they wanted to be, but they didn't quite have everything they needed to be successful from that point on. And hopefully they watch this, they look at that, they say, you know what, we were really split up. We weren't really focused on targets, and they're able to focus up a little better for the next match and do better with that same strategy, because I really do think it would have worked if they were just a little more coordinated on that push.
Absolutely. I mean, really, they kind of, they had a good flank going on, getting that the fire starter in the back, getting some damage in there. I think they got a little bit, not necessarily arrogant or cocky or anything, but brave to move up into that brawl range. They had the information they needed from that fire starter, and to basically say, come get us, we're right here, I'd say that's ballsy as hell. And they obviously pulled it off, and that's awesome, but I think if their opponent just had a little bit more coordination on the push and a little bit more urgency, they could have gotten up there and done some significant work early on, as soon as they moved up towards Theta like that. So this is a map you don't see all that often. This is a very unique strategy set here, and clearly a lot of it is just reacting to what's happening on the battlefield. I'm not sure if you could have necessarily drawn this out ahead of time saying this is what we're going to do. I think this was purely just movement based on reacting to each other. So well played, though, by Sword League, and Blood Pearls has potential. They just need to tighten it up a little bit and get some of those other mechs, especially the lights, get them working a little bit harder here. Just try and do whatever it takes to
at the very least, make sure you've got that information of where the enemy team was. I honestly think the delay in the push probably was just they didn't quite realize it. Yeah. You know, those lights were being harassed by the lights from Sword League, and maybe that harass was enough to block the information being gathered, being transferred back to the drop callers. Because I think any drop caller, knowing the enemy team's right on the other side of the hill and you're on a brawl deck, would say go, go, go. Mm-hmm. And it just felt like that call was delayed.
Absolutely. So we're going to head back to the break, and we will catch you guys for Drop 4 right after this. Should be Kong Lords versus 201st, if both teams show up, of course. And we'll be putting up another replay for you guys here. Hopefully you will enjoy it. See you guys in a bit.